Welcome back, everybody. Well, we got some parts in. Transmission kit, dipstick, oil fill cover, stud kit for the carburetor, and got a bolt kit for the exhaust manifolds. Let's get at her. Welcome back, everyone. It is time to start assembling more parts on the engine. Now, I can't remember if I had this in my last video. I think I might have missed it, but got myself a Edelbrock 383 Streetmaster. It was used, lightly used. Had a little bit of scale on it, but I just run it through the blaster, put a nice new coat of aluminum on top of it, and sealed it up nice. Inside's good. It's not a true dual plane. It does have a step in it, but this is going to be great for lower end power and also just street driving with lower RPM. So I just got it sitting on here, making sure everything lined up, make sure my valley pan went in there well, and everything is good. Now, I have a stud kit for that right here. Of course, my manifold gasket or manifold bolts. Then my transmission kit finally come in. Let's kind of just going through it quickly here. Looks like I have everything. Everything seems to be there. Only two things that are missing, or not missing, the two things that don't come with the kit. One is my rear tail shaft, the main bearing, but that's easy to get. It's got the SKF number on here and everything, easy to pick up. And I noticed it does not come with this large bronze bushing here in my rear clutch pack. But I have been going through the Torqueflite A727 transmission book and been going through everything. I've taken my micrometer to all of it all, gauged it out. Everything is within spec. Even though the clutch packs, the fibers, and the discs are mostly within spec, you know, this thing sat in the force for like 40 years. So I think it's a good idea to replace them. The only real wear I found is in, as you saw in one of the clutch packs in the front one, they were a little bit burnt. And with that, the front band is like brand new. There's nothing, no wear on it at all. But the rear band is actually wore down about 0.045 thou. So it was slipping. And I think that's where the dark material, that little layer of crud settled out of the transmission fluid into the transmission, where the bands are set in correctly. This rear one was trying to take it all up, but it couldn't keep up with it. So the front one was slipping, burning the clutches a little bit. The rear band was engaging too slow and wearing off. So I got another one of them coming. It's not here yet. Before this video actually comes out, it'll probably be here. So I'll run this video over a week or so as I assemble this. And yeah, so we're gonna leave that for now. We're gonna concentrate on just putting on these few things on the engine, because I really want to get in there, get some oil in this thing, and see if I can get that engine to prime. All right, we have the motor back onto the splash pad, and I got my dipstick in, all shiny. Now I was mistaken. This tab lines up perfectly with the motor mount hole, not even near the exhaust manifold, so it's just good. I had to go back and check on a couple of my pictures, and yes, it does stick off the side. Now getting this dipstick in here, I end up sealing, put a little bit of high heat sealant around the bottom of that because I was worried it was going to leak. Well, man, it went in so tight. She's fused in there. And I'm not sure the 100% way to put it in, but what I did is I took a 3/8 wrench here. And I dinged it up a little bit. What are you going to do? But the 3/8 is the exact size of that shaft with like almost no wiggle. And there's a little bit of a raised edge, like a little flare around it. So I took that, put my wrench onto it, and used the claw of my hammer just to tap this. And I moved this all the way around, so I kind of did it evenly all the way around this thing on both sides, and till it finally seated down. And right when it's seated at the bottom, it's in perfect alignment with the hole for the bolt that goes through for the engine mount. All right, so put some oil in this thing. I used some STP ZDDP, that is zinc additive, because most of the oils today, like I said, they don't come with all the good minerals in there and dinosaurs. So I mixed most of it in this jug. This last little bit is coming out. And now this engine is getting the first run, or first fill, of good oil in almost 40 years. I don't know how much it's going to take. They'll keep doing her. Checking the dipstick. All right, so we get you set up here with the gauge. It's a 60-pound gauge, so of course 30 is at the top. I'd love to get at least 20. So I got my priming tool, my drill. I tell you, I've never been more nervous than anything in this build as I am right now to see if we're going to build pressure. So here we go. Come on, baby. Anytime now. Oh, you know what? I think I can feel the torque of the drill. I definitely know it's not going to sound like anything, but I can feel the torque of the drill. Whoa! Oh, I hear bubbles. What's going on? Oh, it's all coming out my cams, out the rockers and everything. Holy, I barely turn it and I'm pushing over 20. Oh, this is going to be a big mess. Everything is full and puking out. Not that side yet, but oh, I'm dripping everywhere too. Give me a second. I gotta fix this up. All right. Not quite sure what to do here. I have a good problem. Half speed on this drill. I could easily put this to 55 pounds of oil pressure, but it's literally shooting out of the rockers here, coming at the top, and I hear air bubbling out the other side. So it's getting ready to come out the other side as well too. This one actually just got a little bit of wetness I can see starting, but I can hear the air spitting out of here. But I cannot stop. Oh, I don't know what to do for the oil. It's puking everywhere. I need my, now that I know this side is getting good oil, really I need this button down and put my cap on and just let it do its thing while I'm getting the air out of that side. But man, I am beyond happy. That is some wicked pressure. I was really praying that I'd get 20, but I could easily, I'm sure if I put that drill to the max, I bet you I could bottom that gauge out at 60, no problem. All right, so I just turned my crank a couple times and I found a sweet spot and the oil just started gushing out on the other side here and started to fill up this pocket. So this one seems to be holding pretty good. It's not, I don't have the little seats on here. So there's like a little tiny drop of oil coming out of there, which is good though. We're filling up. So I am going to throw my other valve cover on the same way. I'm going to make those little bolts up and I'm going to run this thing for another bit, slowly turning that crank as I go as well too, making sure oil is passing everywhere through this. And I'll probably do that for another 10 minutes or so. And then I'll start looking for some leaks. Now it's definitely not going to show me any big leaks because I'm only using my drill, but I am pushing 55 pounds constantly. So I'll be able to check my back seal here for my crank or my camshaft. That's where a lot of the pressure is coming from on the top here. And then also my main seal down there, just where it's splashed around a little bit. As long as it's not dripping out now. If it's dripping out now, it's going to pour out when this engine runs. So I'll keep doing this for a bit and we'll check back in. All the oil running down. The galley's coming back into the crankcase, just like it's supposed to. Both sides full of oil. I can even get 60 PSI out of her on this drill. 60 PSI oil pressure just on this 2-speed DeWalt drill, which is quite slow. Definitely nowhere near the speeds this engine will be turning. Both sides flowing good. So I call that a win. And yeah, I have oil pressure. That is the most amazing thing. I have good oil pressure in this build. All right, sorry about that. I ran out of juice. My phone went dead, so I'm now plugged in. But we did finish it off. So valley pan in, of course. Put my silicone down each side. Got a nice amount in there. Adding a little extra to the corners, which did squirt out just nice. And just finger tighted those. Then I went through, set my intake on there, lined it up, and started my 8 bolts for the intake. Now, they did get a little blob of silicone, just a little bit on the threads. It's a tight thread, it fits really good, but these holes are open to the inside of the oil chamber. So there is the possibility oil could work their way out over time, kind of wick its way out. So going by my Mopar book, right there, one of the suggestions is just a little dab of RTV on there, high heat, just to keep that oil from wicking up in there. This should come out fine if I had to. It's not like it's Loctite or anything. And yeah, and those are torqued down to 40 foot-pounds. And again, the small ones on the side, the 3 on that side and 3 on the other side, are torqued down to 9 foot-pounds or 108 inch-pounds. All right, got just a couple little odds and ends here I thought I'd paint up as well, going onto this engine. This is the inspection plate for the transmission. Also gives me access to tie the bolts in for that flex plate. And this is the cover for the starter. Now, back a few videos here, you might have read there, I don't know what happened. Lost my audio for some reason. Something to do with these new mics that I'm playing with. But I did skip a day. Maybe 2. We ended up putting a few more things on the engine. Got my studs in. I end up getting out the exhaust manifolds, just setting them in loosely, just see how they're going to fit. And I went over and I cleaned up my motor mounts, checked them all out. There's actually no cracks in the rubber at all. Don't know how long they're going to last, but there's no cracks and they're not pulling away from any of the bracketry. So I'm going to try. I'm going to give them a go. Let's see how they hold up. But I gave them the old Craigslist rebuild. Scrape off the dirt, spray a little paint, and she's good to go. But yes, everything turned out real good. I put my PCV valve in. Of course, front end assembled. There's only one thing left for now to set this off. There we go. Got to get the oil cap on. Well, sorry if I zipped through that too quick, but had lots of other stuff to do too. All the garden junk is now in the garage here drying out. Snow on the horizon, big storm coming. So I had to get this stuff done and kind of fit it in between here. So I've lost a few days, but I am trying to keep up on these videos. This would be this is the 3rd one in a row. Doing pretty good considering I missed a couple months. But anyway, next video, we'll be jumping back in that transmission. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. If you're first time through, hit that subscribe button. Love to have you follow along. Catch you all again later.